What's up, guys? Good morning. 7:30 in the morning. Thursday, rounding out another week of training. Hopefully you're training somewhere. Lots of different things going on in the news. I try not to pay attention too much to it. You just got to keep doing you, working on yourself. So this class actually rounds out what we've been working on. Next week is going to be wrist, which is more grip, and ankles. So this helps with grips with gis, get your fingers stronger so they hurt less. And the ankle gets for butterfly guard, any type of hook, de la riva, reverse de la riva. That kind of stuff is learning how to flex, that dorsiflex stronger is gonna help you in jiu-jitsu. So not only does it make your body feel better, but it gets you better at moving for jiu-jitsu. Okay, so I'm gonna start a new thing now for the next probably few weeks. I'm gonna read one of my affirmations, and then I'm gonna kind of somewhat meditate on it for a second while we're doing the breath. So when we first start class, we're gonna do the breath and we're gonna have that as like in the background, like it's in your peripheral. So you're focused on your breath, but a portion of your thoughts are on the affirmation that I chose for myself. You can take affirmations for yourself and write them down and then bring them to class. So when you come to class, you go, okay, this is something that's important to me because everybody's affirmations are different. I'm just going to give you examples out of my life. So you get to hear the stuff that I try to talk to on a consistent basis to my mind, because I think mental fitness is just as important as physical fitness. And I didn't realize that when I was younger. And now that I'm a little bit older, I realize it, and I think that it can benefit everybody. Anybody that is watching this around the world can benefit from doing affirmations in the morning. It just feels good. It gets your mind right for whatever it is that you're going to run into in life, because life can take a beating on you sometimes. And if you don't work on this, you start getting jaded, you start getting those ugly emotions that no one likes feeling. This shit helps. Okay, so I'm gonna pick one. This one I tell myself all the time. If I know what day it is, I'm not sure who I heard this from. I think it might be Grant Cardone. If I know what day it is, then I'm not busy enough. So that one is for me. All right, here we go. Take in your thoughts in the background, and then we're going to start doing the breath. So if this is the first time in class for you, I'm going to do it real quick. Diaphragm down, breath in, relax out, or reflex it out. Breath in, reflex it out. Okay? Then we're going to do holds. Diaphragm down, breath, hold. Next is all the way out, belly button in or towards your anus, and then reflex it in. All the way out, belly button in, reflex it in. Okay? So just keep going, try to follow. I'm going to try to build like somewhat of a tempo. It's difficult to do while I'm actually teaching or while I'm actually doing it myself, to kind of give you a little bit of a cadence. Okay? Here we go. A few more. Try to find that tempo. And here's that tempo. Go in, out. And again, in, out. And again, in. Five more. Last one, and in, and hold. Keep holding. This is where your body's going to feel a little tingly, feel a little lightheaded. Just relax. You've got more than enough air. Your body's just in panic mode. Let the body adjust to the lack of breath. And hold. And reflex it out. And again in. And reflex it out. And again in. And reflex it out. And again in. And out, all the way out. All the way out. All the way out. All the way out. And reflex it in now. And again, all the way out. Belly button in. And reflex it in. Again, all the way out. And reflex it in. Couple more. And last one. And relax for a second. Think back of the affirmation on yourself for a second. What was it? Solidify that thought into your mind from taking in all this oxygen and breath. So right now you should feel good and pumped up to do this class. Use that physical momentum to kind of solidify that thought in your mind so you work on that affirmation for the day. All right, guys, get in 90-90. Guys, girls, whoever's watching. Give me feedback on the lighting. I'm trying different lighting, like adjustments. Lighting's actually a little bit more difficult than I thought it was going to be. So again, first time here, 90, everything's at 90. Curl your toes towards your knee. So keep them active. Don't be lazy with your toes. So think that you're dorsiflexing your foot. You're going to actively press this knee down. You're engaging the inner thigh muscles, your external rotators. So you're doing a combination of curling the toes or dorsiflexing the ankle and pressing that with your leg power, that knee down to try to get this heel up. From there, you're rotating your chest going forward and then hip hinging forward. Idea is not to come from the spine. There's going to be a little bit of spinal movement, but really more than 80% of the movement needs to come from the hip. From there, find your in range, whatever that looks like for you. It could be as far forward as here. It could be flat on the ground for the flexible people. For the not so flexible people, it could be back here. Okay? Sit in that in range for just a second. Again, homework for you guys on your own. You should be sitting in this 90-90 and practicing these pails and rails. Sitting in this 90-90 for 2 minutes. Okay, here we go. So we're going to do pails on the back foot. Pails, scale underneath your foot, pushing through the ground, axial rotation of the femur, the thigh bone. Okay, here we go. Start. Pressing down, increasing from 10%, and going up to 20%, 30%. You're going to feel the stuff back here firing. a little bit of underneath on the inside of the back thigh. Get to that 40% effort, and then hold. This isometric contraction that we're practicing here, the amount of intent that you have with this isometric contraction is going to help with submissions. You want to be a python. So if you sink in a choke or any type of submission, you want to be able to like slowly squeeze and make minor adjustments while you slowly squeeze and don't exert all your energy at one time. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rails is going to be pulling up, keeping this sturdy, irradiating the midsection, getting that foot up. Get it up. Keep going. Dig. And now hold it up. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly let it down. And go farther forward if you found a little bit of space. I did. As you see, I dropped down to my elbows. And again, take a breath here. Tailbone towards the ceiling. Elevated chest to the best of your ability, so the most of the movement is coming from the hip. We're gonna start pushing down on that back foot now. But now we're gonna go to max effort, whatever that looks like for you. So slowly start revving up, 10%, 20%. Dig. This is when you know that the guy's about to pass out, and you need to start slowly squeezing, keep squeezing, because you want to submit the guy. That's what you want to think when you're holding this contraction, is how hard can you put that squeeze down in those muscles. Dig. If you're not shaking, you're not putting enough effort into it, that back glute, that back thigh, that inner thigh should be shaking. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now rails, get that foot up. Squeeze this stuff here. You might be getting cramps up on that upper inner, not outer thigh kind of. Dig. Get that foot up. Dig. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let it down slowly. Marinate in that new mobility. Rock your hips back a little bit. Kind of try to anterior, posterior tilt a little bit and rock back and forth. And slowly get out of it. Whew, that felt good. Now we're going to practice a sideline car. So lay on your side, put a yoga block underneath your head. So we just did the trail leg. So the trail leg needs to be the top hip. You're going to bend at the knees. From here, I like to put both arms straight sometimes. Sometimes I kind of like put my hand on my hip to give myself some cues or some information that I'm rocking my hip without really being aware of it. Actually, that's a better position. Let's leave it here. From there, we want to press the bottom rib into the ground and the bottom shoulder into the ground, because we want to create like a little bit of a gap between the hip and the shoulder. Okay? And it kind of like forces all these muscles to fire. Hand on the hip. Already in flexion, try to even more bring it towards your head, and then you're going to hold pause. From there, you're going to A-B duck, lift it up towards the ceiling, or towards the sky, wherever you're at. From there, you're going to internally rotate to the max of your ability, which means you're going to turn, and then you're going to max that out. Once you do, then you start going into hip extension. You keep trying to rotate internally as you kick back into hip extension. Bring the knee back to the bottom knee, and then you're going to reverse. Hip extension back, a max out hip extension. So you literally should feel this right here on the side muscle firing in order for you to do that. And you're going to externally rotate as you bring the leg back in front. Rest. Whew. And then we repeat. Lead the chest, max that out. AB duct, internally rotate. Once you max out that internal rotation, then you start working on hip extension. So kicking back as you're internally rotating at the hip, actual rotation, which is what we're trying to get at. And reverse. These are hard for me today. Keep bringing it around. Whew. All right. Wow. That took a lot out of me. So I don't know if you guys have noticed. I don't know how many classes have you taken, but the more you do this, and the better communication you have. Switch sides. So opposite leg trail. I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, about getting better. So the better the communication, the more you do this, the more intense and the more actual effort you're gonna be able to do to make from very small movements. So it's basically internal workout. You're learning how to do max effort muscularly internally without external load is the way you got to think about it. Find that end range, whatever that looks like for you. Hang out there for a second. All right, remember, toes curled, pressing this knee down to the best of your ability. It automatically puts, by pressing this knee down, it automatically puts your hip in a much better alignment. Start pushing down on that back foot now. Pails, 10%, 20%, 30%, 40%. Hold that 40%. This side is so much worse than the other side. Everywhere. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rails. Get that back foot up. Get this stuff here to fire, and dig, and 2 and 1. Slowly let it down. Find that new space, melt into it, adjust whatever you need to adjust, find that sweet spot that just feels how it hurts so good. Okay, and start pushing down on that back foot now again. Maximal effort here now. I have communication issues on this side. It's hard for me to push and not ask my knee for help. The idea is you're pushing down on the back foot, creating actual rotation. So you better really think that you're doing this, rotating here. Get up to that max effort. Keep raising it up harder. You're literally trying to press that back foot through the ground. As if there was a scale underneath it, and weight, and you're trying to put a ton down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rails, get it all the way up now. Dig, dig, and 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly let it down. Melt into the new space. Marinate a little bit into this. Adjust your hip a little bit. anterior and posterior tilts. Slowly get out of it. Ooh. Sideline hip guard on this side now. Oh. Here we go. Hip flexion, hip abduction. From there, you're going to internally rotate. Once you max that out, you pause, and then you start, hold that tension as you do hip extension at the same time that you're doing internal rotation, bringing it around to the front. Reverse, maxing out hip extension, externally rotating as you bring the leg around. These are hard for me on this side, as you can tell. Open it up. Internally rotate, max that out, and then start doing that hip extension as you kick it all the way back. Bring it around to the front. And reverse, hip extension back. And externally rotate as I bring the leg around. Woo. Okay, I need to take a second there. That took a lot out of me. All right, let's move on to shoulders. Okay, if you've never done this before, knees, we're going to stay on the same side. Same position. The only difference is now you're going to take these fingers, put it against your elbow. You're going to lift your shoulder and try to get your elbow back so that you sit more up on your shoulder. Okay? The whole idea is to do this so that the shoulder joint has to do internal rotation here. Okay? So from here, you're going to take the top hand. You're going to passively put a little bit of weight on there. So what you're doing is you're like a featherweight. It's there, but it's not really there. You're trying to relax into that end range, whatever that looks like for you. Once you get there, we're going to do pails. Pails is pushing up. Rails is trying to internally rotate more, reach towards your belt buckle and to the ground at the same time. Okay? So here we go. Same idea as the hips. You start 10 to 40, and then we do the max lift on the second one. Okay? So here we go. Start pushing up, 10%. You see there's no visible change from my arms, and that's because my top arm is matching my bottom arm. So the more I push from my bottom arm, the more my top arm is going to match the effort. So get up to that 40% and then just hold. And 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And now rails, pull the bottom arm away from the top arm. More internal rotation. Reach for that belt buckle. Dig. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then relax. Marinate in the new space. Adjust the elbow if you need to. Find a new line of tension. And then start pails again, pushing up. Yes. Now we're doing max effort. Think about someone's got a Kimura on you. And you need to resist it because you only have 3 seconds left of some type of match or something like that, whatever it is. You're resisting. Keep revving up that effort. Should be shaking right now. If you're not putting enough effort into it. And hold. Hold. 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and rails now. Internally rotate more. Pull the bottom arm away from the top arm. Reach for that belt buckle. Dig. Figure out what muscles do you need to incorporate in order for this arm to get closer to the ground. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and top arm meets the bottom arm. Relax the tension. Melt into the new space. Sounds crazy, but your arm will externally rotate a little bit, but you want to keep a little bit of passive weight in there. So if you're just eccentrically unloading it means lengthening the muscles in a contracted state. Oh. Tennis ball. Squeeze. And now we're going to save the work. So we just did some heavy lifting. And now what we're doing is we're telling the brain through the nervous system that this is possible. So we want to max out what we can, internal rotation and external rotation. I'm trying to keep my shoulder and my elbow in line with each other. But I'm going to hang out for like a fraction of a second at each external rotation and internal rotation. Keep going. And last one each way. Ooh. It's like a hammer. All right, other side. Knees in front of hips, elbow in front of shoulder, fingers. Get the shoulder back. Get comfortable. Top hand meets the bottom hand. And we start melting. Remember, guys, the reason why you want to do the 2 minutes on your own as homework, because that's where you learn the melt part. So we're doing like a fast version of this because I'm assuming that you've taken either took a bunch of these classes, or you're doing the homework, which is trying to do this for 2 minutes instead of just as short as we're doing it. Because you're going to understand your body a little bit better. All right, here we go. Pails is pushing up. Rails is trying to pull the hand farther down. Let's start doing pails first. Pushing up 10%, 20%, 30%, 40%. And now just hold. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rails. Internally rotate. Try to reach for that belt buckle. Make that effort strong. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Really start relaxing the tension. Marinate a little bit in that new space. Adjust your elbow if you need to. Adjust your shoulder blade. Find a line of tension. There it is for me. Now we're going to start revving up to max effort, whatever that is for you. So here we go. Start pushing up hills. 10%, 20%, 30%. Keep revving up. Want muscles to need to fire in order for your bottom hand to beat your top hand. Your top hand is not allowing you to win. Maximum effort now. Keep rising it. And 10. Now hold. Actually hold. Hold. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Should be shaking. 2, 1. Rails. Pull it down now. Reach towards your belt buckle and dig. Dig. Yeah, there you go. Find that space. Get that internal rotation. More. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And now relax the tension. Take a breath here. I'm going to do a couple breaths here because I've hurt the shoulder before, so it needs a little bit more love than my other shoulder. Slowly get yourself out. Just be careful. That was a good set for me. Oof. Back up to kneeling. So again, 90 degree, you're squeezing the ball. You could be making a fist. The ball is just another external assister. You're just going to internally rotate and externally rotate. Just go back and forth. Trying to keep your elbow in line with your shoulder as you max out external rotation and internal rotation. You want to hang out for like a second or two at each end. Just finished doing a whole lot of work to create space. You created the space, and now teaching the body that space is available. It needs to grow tissue there. If it grows tissue there, then your mobility increases in a powerful way. Because then you can actively create ranges of motion instead of passively create ranges of motion. The more active range of motion you have in your body, reduction of injuries. So it's fucking perfect for jiu-jitsu. All right, guys. So now we're moving on to the active part. We've been working on the same thing for this, I would say last 2 weeks, the same little, like similar sequence. But hopefully you've been doing it enough times with me that now you're feeling like the amount of effort that you can put into each exercise is like bumped up by like 20 or 30%. If it hasn't, then you need to do more, because the idea is for you to kind of figure out what that internal effort is. Okay? So the first one we're going to do is we're going to do mountain climber with reach, toes tucked, sitting back in the turtle or child's pose in yoga. Actually, this is more turtle. From here, then all you're going to do is you can come up, foot next to arm, and you're going to reach back with that same hand. Come back, other side. That's the first one. Next one is same position, same starting position. You're going to go up to a plank and then do a push-up. So plank, push-up, and back to the turtle position. The very last one is scapular push-ups. You're doing push-ups with your shoulder blades. Okay? One of the important parts is keeping your toes tucked. Give me 1 second, guys. Sorry. I got to figure out how to turn this feature off on my computer. So the idea is to have your toes tucked and kind of like model the active throughout the whole motion. And you're trying to relax this back. We're trying to create power at our toes while we actually do all these motions. Okay? So here we go. You're gonna do 8 of the first one, 6 of the second one, and then 10 of the last one. Here we go. Now climb with reach. So we worked on that hip rotation, and now we're solidifying that hip rotation to get this foot up. Oh, I lost count. I think this is the last one. I got distracted there. And plank to push-up. Last one. Next one is scapular push-ups. Up to plank. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Woo. Those are really difficult after intense shoulder thing, the sleeper stretch. If you did a good job on that one, these are really hard. Well, that elevated my heart rate quite a bit. The scapular push-ups. Catch a breath. Tune in with your breath here. This is where it's important, like when you're feeling this like elevated heart rate, for you to just kind of like enjoy the silence. Close your eyes. And literally just witness the breath go up and down. Whew. All right, let's go. Round 2. Remember, 8, 6, 10. And now plank to push-up. Three more. And last one. Back. I'm doing the scapular push-ups on my knees because I'm definitely gassing already. And go. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And relax. Same thing, sit back, pay attention to your breath. Feel everything expand. Tell the body to relax. Learning to talk to your body to decelerate excitement is when you get into bad positions, is to not panic. All right, guys, so we're gonna do a little bit with the spine now. First one we're gonna do is a thoracic. They're all gonna be cat-cow, so we're gonna do a thoracic cat-cow, which is the upper back, so from mid to upper back. And then we're gonna do a lumbar one, which is more hip and like up until roughly about your ribs, okay? So the first one is sitting back, same thing. Your toes are tucked, hands, well, those you gotta adjust. Can't be too close, because then you're extending excessively, okay? Because the idea is to bring your weight back onto your actual calves. From there, you're gonna start tucking the pelvis under and rolling your spine upwards towards your mid back, upper back, and then exaggerate the upper back. Squeeze that spine, then you're gonna reverse. Keep the head down. You're gonna push that pelvis out, start rolling the spine outwards. Moving up the mid back to the shoulder blades, to the shoulder board, neck. Really reaching, elongate these muscles in the front. Then reverse, tuck the pelvis under, keep that head looking up towards the ceiling. Get that lower back rounded, mid back, stay look forward, try to force that motion up. Good, and keep rounding that upper back. Head comes last. And then reverse, roll that head down and start pushing those hips back or anterior tilting. You're rolling up the spine. And one last time, tuck the pelvis under, roll up, lower back, mid back, exaggerate the thoracic area. Upper back, exaggerate it. And then reverse. Anterior tilt. Roll up the spine. Mid back. Upper back. Cervical. And head. And relax. Woo. Ooh, that was hard. Okay, next one. Interlocking fingers. Drop to your elbow, sorry. Hands together, interlock your fingers. So like this. Then what you're gonna do is you're gonna then put the top of your head and kind of cup the back of your head. You're gonna round the upper back. Now what we're gonna do is you're gonna do the cat-cow with just the pelvis as best you can. So I'm going to start a maximal cow, and then start tucking the pelvis under. How do you need to communicate it to me? And now reverse. It's a really small range of motion because you're only doing from mid back to the hip girdle. Tucking the pelvis under. Or posterior tilt. Around that spine. Yeah. Now reverse. Anterior tilt the pelvis. Tailbone to the ceiling. Go up the lower back, mid back. And my lack of hip mobility keeps my spine from moving anymore. Tuck the pelvis under. Try to do it one vertebrae at a time. And reverse, last one. Relax for a second. Whew. Next is full cat-cow. So now we're doing hands and knees, tabletop, whatever you want to call it. Same toes tucked. We're only going to do 3 of these. So let's start tucking the pelvis back, posterior tilt. Start rolling up your spine. Lower back, mid back, upper back. Expand those shoulder blades. Drop the head. Keep everything tucked. Good. Now start moving the pelvis. Go. Anterior tilt. Go to lower back. Try to go 1 vertebrae at a time. Now you're moving on to the thoracic. On the upper back. Cervical. Or neck. And now the head. Hold that position. Extend these muscles here. Tuck the pelvis under. Start again. Lower back. Mid back. Upper back. And now head. Exaggerate it. And reverse pelvis. Anterior tilt. Lower back. Mid back. Upper back. Neck. Head. Pause. Hold that excessive extension. And now pelvis again. Posterior tilt. Lower back. Mid back. Upper back. Cervical. Head. And hold. Hold. And last one. Pelvis out. Lower back. Mid back. Upper back. Cervical. Head and hold. And relax. Wow, that took a lot out of me. All right. So now we're going to do a thoracic C.A.R. Let me back up a little bit. You're going to take a yoga block. You're going to put it in between your legs. Find the one that's right for you. For me, it's the narrow. Okay? Toes are tucked in the back. Coming up so that your hip is over your knees. You're squeezing the yoga block. Mild active tension or relaxation of the heel on the back leg and engaging your glute and your hamstrings to hold this position. From there, you're going to hug yourself. We're going to do a thoracic C.A.R. Just finish moving the spine in a bunch of ways. Now we're going to solidify the work. So go ahead and flex now. Rotate to take that shoulder back. Come all the way around. Make sure that you're squeezing the block. It's going to help you stabilize your hips so that you can increase the range of motion when you come around. Come all the way around. Back to center. Repeat. Spinal flexion, squeezing the yoga block. Rotating to the left. Dipping that shoulder back and around, all the way around, and reach. Just keep squeezing that block. That block helps actual rotation. Keep all the way around. Back to neutral. Other direction. Flex down. Rotate. Take that shoulder back. All the way around. Squeeze that yoga block. We're dipping those shoulders back and around from one side to the other. I feel that mid to upper back open up to make those turns, which is what we're trying to do, and stabilize the lumbar section. Give you power in your hips. Again, flex down. Rotate to the right or to your left. Get that shoulder all the way around and squeeze that yoga block. All the way around to the other side. And relax. Whew, that took a lot out of me too today. doing some effort today, boy. Feels good. All right. Next one's pretty easy. So now what happened is we basically woke up our hips. We woke up our tension everywhere, opened up a little bit of our shoulder. We moved our spine. So now we're going to do it in a little bit of like movement that's like applicable to jiu-jitsu. So we're going to do a bridge, and then we're going to do upas. So the bridge that we're doing it with is you can do some weights. You can do kettlebells, however heavy you want. But just remember that the goal is not the press. The goal is the bridge. The press is just there as like a way to hold the tension on the bridge. So you want to place your feet right underneath your knees. From there, you're going to bridge up. When you bridge up, the idea is not to keep your back on, or try not to keep your back on the ground. The idea is to try to get that bridge to the point where you're almost on your traps. You're trying to literally go over your head. From there, you're going to just push the weights up. And we're going to do 10. So 1 on each side is 1, 2, 2. And go at your own speed. Just self-check, because as you start to press, you're going to notice that your hips are going to slowly start to do this. And remember, the focus is not on the actual press. The focus is on keeping that bridge as high as possible. So every few repetitions, you want to self-check and press even harder upwards. Last one for me. Slowly let it down. Put the weights to the side. Then we're going to just do upa. From here, same thing. You're just reaching over your side. Maximal thing. You're trying to roll up onto that shoulder. You're doing 10 of these. Beautiful. Back to the press. No break with this one. Feet underneath your knees. Elevate that bridge. Get up onto your neck almost. Completely off your back. And go. Count to yourself. Again, remember, it's not about the press. It's about the bridge. As you can see, I'm only doing 5 pounds. And it's quite difficult for me. You should feel basically your ass firing, your lower back firing, your mid back, a little bit of your calves. Last one for me. Let it down. And let's go to the upa. And relax it down. Whew. That felt good. My hips felt powerful there. Okay, last round, rather than splats out. So we're doing the decompression, doing the last few little joints here, elbow circles, 6 in each direction. Next one is pin here. Rotating the internal external rotation of the shoulder. Last one is needle arm, so spinal rotation. Come down, sit on it, 6 on each side. And the very last one is the spinal rolls. Nice and slow, okay? So here we go. Elbow circles, also called closed chain C.A.R.s. What helps me is spreading my fingers. and opposite direction. Good. Right into the next one. Palm facing up, fist down, control the load, and try to go as slow as possible. Each direction is one. Switch sides whenever you get to 10. And 10. Needle arm. Remember, reach with the arm that you're kneeling through. Rotate the spine. Get that upper back helping you. The spine, flexion, and rotation at the same time. So it's a deeper of a stretch. Once you get to 6, switch to the other side. I love this one. I think I say it every time I do it. I have limited rotation on this side compared to the other. Awesome. Last little spinal rolls. Nice and slow. When we're doing forward lean, so go nice and slow. Toes tucked. We're doing basically rolling into we're in a maximal cat, and then we're rolling into a cow. That's how you got to think about it. That's why these are important at the very end, because you're basically hitting the same motion that you've already done, but in rolling where all of your body is kind of generating that movement forward. You're learning how to separate each individual vertebrae and go in each maximal direction. A few more. And last one. Upward dog is magical for us JiuJitsu people. It really is. Okay, so here we go. Now we're going to go back to breath. I'm going to do positional breaths now. So now we're going to do maximal inhale, maximal exhale. When we do it, remember it's a circle. So we're going to do, you're trying to create potential energy to kinetic energy and then assist. So watch, one breath. Breath down. Diaphragm down. Breath in. All the way out. All the way out. Belly button in, belly button in, belly button in. You're going to hold it. Now you have potential energy here. When you relax, the breath starts for you. And then you're going to pick it up where it stops, where it drops off. And then you're going to create a circle. You're basically trying to create like a pendulum sweep circular motion. In, out. That's where the tempo is, okay? Positional could be anything. For me, I sit up in this position here because I'm trying to get used to my knees being pinned to my chest. And I need my breath to open up more so that when I'm in this position, it's comfortable. AKA someone's trying to pass my guard, I'm trying to replace guard, whatever, okay? Here we go, breath down, diaphragm down, all the way in, all the way out. And again in. And all the way out. And again in. And all the way out. And again in. And all the way out. Try to stay with the tempo. In. And all the way out. A few more. Two more. Last one. Close your eyes, slow, controlled breath. You can either stay in that positional breath, whatever you were working on, or you can come sit in your style. I want to sit in your style. Now we're going to think back of that affirmation that we started with. What was it? Mine was that if I know what day it is, I'm not busy enough. It's a reminder that I need to be busy so that I lose track of what day it is. And I have to be looking at the calendar. Calm that breath down. Bathe in all the hormones and all that gushy stuff that's in your blood now. Guys, I want to thank you for watching. I really am grateful. I get to do what I love. I get to take care of my body, teach you guys, and jiu-jitsu. So help out my friends and family that do jiu-jitsu, man. I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Deeply grateful for you tuning in, those guys. And I hope to see you on the mat one day, yeah? Until next week.